Hey, folks. Welcome to the wrap-up, Breakout Readouts. I'm going to give folks a little bit of time. I know Felix over in the attestation room was still in the middle of a lively discussion. I felt bad for interrupting them. They were just like, it's fun to watch them go at it. Good discussion. I think I see George and maybe Bob will join us. Maybe not. I know he might have to go a little bit. Cool. Got most of the crew here. What a day.
I feel like everything has gone smoothly as far as I can tell.
Hey, everybody's there. Yeah, George, I think you'd asked to go first in the readout. And I don't know, I think we're going to have a little bit of a quick readout here and then a couple comments to wrap things up. And then maybe I'll just hang out, and anyone else after that who wants to hop on and keep chatting, we'll be here for a while. George, how were your discussions?
Good. So
I can't hear you.
Oh no.
I've been having issues with this a bunch when I switch rooms. Sometimes it doesn't pick back up.
Yeah, I had
so
a hard refresh.
Log out and back in.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, it's just me. Okay, I'll be back.
Okay. All right. So I only had one session. So many people were in other sessions. Reusable generic TLS endpoints in Enclave only had a few people, so we went ahead and moved. I think we ended up in attestations, but we did TEE provisioning, and I've never heard of this before. And unfortunately, I can't even summarize what Dave was talking about. So I focused on taking the notes, and I have the link to his slides, which I'll go ahead and paste in chat. It was a summary of this, and I'd never heard of this before. So unfortunately, I couldn't really summarize it for you, Ava. So I have the notes and I have the slides. I was barely keeping up with Dave on that one. But does anyone have questions about it? I stuck his slides in chat there, and then here are the rest of the notes.
I just pulled up those notes on the side here. Not my specialty. Like, Dave is far deeper than I am on some of this.
Yeah, he was like doing the beginning summary, and within 30 seconds I was totally lost. So
looking at these notes, it sounds like a lot of this was more about like edge compute or IoT devices and how to provision an enclave using ARM trust zones. I mean, GSMA, I'm assuming, yeah, that's mobile devices. Yeah, it's been an interesting like evolution and how much interest I see in the cloud native space and confidential VMs. We saw a lot of talks today about SEV-SMP and TDX. And then the other end of the spectrum, you've got super small devices, mobile devices, smart washing machines. How do you make all that secure? And a lot of the same principles, attestation, encrypted memory regions, but not yet a lot of convergence in the actual tool chains to do it. So folks who want to know more about the IoT stuff, go check out Dave's slides. George, anything else from your tracks?
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Bob.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No one popped into either session. I think it was just attestation when the sort of like main track was just like too popular.
Yeah, I think we had a bunch of good cloud native stuff. I don't know. I'm really passionate about cloud native and confidential computing, but the session was proposed by Lockie, and then he couldn't actually join. I was looking forward to chatting with him about some of this. I think maybe the takeaway from today is attestation is where it's at, and it's a little bit too early still for a cloud native. Like we can talk about it, we can learn about it. We had this great session, the lightning talks this morning. From a bunch of projects that are interested in it, but there's not yet something there to like sink your teeth into. Yeah. Okay. Felix, you seemed like you had the busy room all day. How was the afternoon?
It was stressful. Yeah, we had two very lively sessions. The first one was on attestation results for secure interactions by Thomas Harjono and Henk Birkholz. I think they are both very deeply involved with the IETF. Dave Thaler also gave quite some input. Shanwei Sen and a few other folks. And it was essentially about several abstract concepts in the context of attestation that are currently being standardized and discussed by the IETF and partly also implemented mostly by the Verizon project that is, I think, driven by ARM and that many of the IETF folks are excited about. And the session was, or the core of the session was a presentation about what abstract things we want to have from attestation claims, for example. What type of evidence we want to have. What makes up an identity, what makes up a claim, and how what different means exist to indicate freshness of this evidence. And I think it was a very detailed discussion, and I think the IETF guys are doing a great job thinking about all these abstract categories. And I think the next step now is to map this to the actual hardware that we have and the requirements, and start implementing these things. And I believe my takeaway from the session was it's great that we have all this standardization going on, and once we take the next step and implement it, it will be great because it will abstract away, or it will allow us to abstract many of the hardware-specific things that we're seeing these days.
Yeah. Felix, I dropped into that session for a bit, and I think I missed a lot of it. But my takeaway was that the EATS entity attestation token specification is still at a pretty high level, and I think one of the Thomases responded to me by saying, "Yeah, it'll probably be usable. Like, it might be something you can use there by the end of the year." Did I capture that right?
I think, yeah. And so there is already, so this attestation, this E token, yeah, there are two implementations, one in C, one in Golang, and I just checked them out briefly. It looks pretty comprehensive. Yeah, again, the Verizon project has a Golang implementation, for example. So that's looking very promising. Yeah.
Yep.
And the last session of the day was more like a Q&A around DCAP and how DCAP evolved from SGX to TDX. And there were quite a few folks from Intel on the stage, the key experts, and yeah, explained DCAP, which is the data center attestation protocol for SGX, the one that's being used by the CSPs, the cloud providers. And then there was an extended. I think we dive deep into Ravi's backup slide deck from his talk this morning, and he showed how the seam, which is the core of TDX's TCB, works with the other components, and it was interesting to see how there is a new CPU mode, how the seam is protected from the VMM, and how it enables the confidential VMs. So that was, I think, a great add-on to the talk on main stage and a good extended Q&A session. Yeah, that was the station track.
Yeah, certainly the most lively of them today. Cool. Well, thank you all. And Karen, thanks so much for running the main stage and keeping it moving. I'd say our first event was a pretty awesome success. Yeah. For Friday afternoon, trying to do this hybrid unconference and main stage, it went pretty well. We've still got 90 folks connected and here with us. Awesome day, folks. Everyone, thank you so much. Thank you for all the participants who came on. Thank you so much. Thanks for all your questions, your conversation. I will see you around. See you around the consortium.
Yeah, thank you, Eva. It's great. Yeah.
Oh, thank you to LF for all the work that they put into
Yes.
helping us plan this. So it's only as smoothly as it is because of all the work they're doing behind the scenes.
No joke. This could not have happened without the LF and the sort of helpers behind the scenes so much, Ashley and Rachel and everyone else who really made this possible. All the emails you've gotten, all the help with like platform issues and login issues, that's all coming from Rachel and Ashley and our LF support. So a huge shout out to them and all our speakers.
And everyone that volunteered to put something in the stickies.
Yes, and everyone who put some ideas in there or showed up at 8 a.m. on a Friday morning, if you're in the West Coast, to click plus on something that you thought was a cool topic. That's a contribution, and I value it. Thank you.
Yeah. Is anyone from India still around? That would be pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I guess it'd be like 2 in the morning, roughly.
Probably later. So it's 11 p.m. in Germany. So it must be like maybe like 5 or 6.
I want to say it's like 12 and a half hours from Seattle to New Delhi.
Maybe I'm confusing time zones. We can check. Let me ask my browser. Time in New Delhi in India.
And I
It's
guess
2:30 a.m.
2:30.
Okay.
It's 12 and a half. Okay.
That's not too bad, actually. Yeah.
And and everyone, you're probably going to get a sort of survey follow-up after this from the LF. Please do fill that out. We look at it. I will definitely be looking at all of the feedback and try to help make this a better conference next time too. So, yeah.
Cool. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks all.
Have a good one.